said I was going to cut down. I got it cut down. This doesn't look like it's actually turning perfectly in a circle. It looks kind of out of balance, but it's not. It's just this washer around here is out of balance. The rotor is perfectly balanced. You spin it at high speed on a bench grinder like that. After I cut it out as close to perfect as I can get with a what the heck did I use on this? Bandsaw. Sorry, I'm getting old. I'm losing my mind. Okay, so I cut it out with a bandsaw. Then I use one of these. It's kind of a hand rasp. I don't know what they call it. But anyway, it has a bunch of teeth at the bottom, and they'll just wear this plastic right down. So you can take it down. I got it down fairly smooth right now on the outside. There's no high spots. It's definitely round. There's a few little gouges like that on the outside. But when I put the sandpaper to it, it'll take all of those scratches and all those gouges right off. So that's the next step. I got it cut down. So now it's the same size as one of the original rotors that held, 6 2-inch magnets. Only this one holds 12 1-inch magnets, and they're thicker than 1/4 of an inch. Okay, so there we go. That's the deal right there. And the magnets are flush, so they won't catch. Whereas the ones on this rotor are sticking up. So this is a thicker rotor. So anyway, that rotor will only fit in that machine over there. So that's what I'm going to put it in. I'm going to probably go ahead and put this machine together to, man, I don't know which machine to put together. Here's my quandary. If I put this machine together and I put the ferrite cores in and it doesn't work, then this is a machine I want to put together for the conference, because it's got the offsetting magnets, which I'm going to need to be able to demonstrate that this thing really puts out power. If I put that machine together and the ferrite cores work, then I can make that a self-runner without even a motor attached to it, which would be awesome to have for the conference. But I don't know if those ferrite cores are going to work, and there's no way for me to know until I at least get a machine like 75% put together. The only thing I'll have left to do is to put the stupid coils in it, and it's a lot of work to put one of these together. And I have to drill all the holes in the base plate to match up with the holes that are already in the frame, which means I have to make templates of all these things where the holes are. Then I have to drill holes in the template, then I have to put the template on the base plate, drill the base plate, then I have to drill and tap all the holes so the screws can go in, countersink the heads, blah, blah, blah. It's a lot of work. I have a new base. In fact, I have 2 new base plates. They're right here. This base plate actually, I think, goes with this machine. And so, well, it has to. Yeah, it has to. This base plate goes with this machine, but the bolt holes won't all line up because my rotor that I made over there is thicker than the previous rotor, and so not everything is going to line up on the base plate to bolt these things down. But anyway, maybe I'll just go ahead and put this one together because the base plates are at least all drilled out for it. And if the ferrite cores end up not working, it won't be quite as... If the ferrite cores work, I'm in Fat City, and if they don't work, then I'm going to have to go through all the trouble of drilling and tapping all the holes in the base plate. But this one already has most of the holes in the base plate already drilled. So I've just talked myself into putting this one together with a new rotor in it. Basically, is what it amounts to. So I'll get that done probably over the next 3-4 days. By the end of the weekend, I ought to have it together, and I ought to have at least tested the ferrite cores. And then I can make a decision whether I'm taking this machine or the offset, canceling magnets machines to the conference. And if I get one of them done, I'll work on getting the other one done. So at least I'll have one for the conference and maybe 2. So anyway, that's the plan. And I just wanted to show you that next step, because that's how I make a rotor. I cut it out. I cut it out with a piece of plastic. I drill the center hole in it. The center hole is actually bigger than what my grinder shaft is, but I have a piece that fits on the grinder shaft that fits through the center hole on the rotor, and so I can slide it on there. I can, I can tighten it up in place, and I can get it real snug on there, and then I can spin it at high RPM and do everything I need to do it to make it perfectly round before I take it off and put it on my machine. So that's how I do my rotors. I rough cut them on the bandsaw, then I put them on the grinder and I spin them. I cut them down to where they're really solid and round with this thing, and then the rest of it I take it down with sandpaper. So that's the process for me to make a rotor at home in my shop. That's the way I've always done it. Probably the way I will always do it until I get a lot of expensive machinery in here that can, cut out a rotor on a CNC for me. So anyway, that's it for today.